Vote on $2,000 stimulus checks, second stimulus check update, plus unemployment insurance benefits. What's going on, you guys? It's Ron here with your second stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Hope you guys are doing very well today on this Wednesday, December 30th. A vote, take a note, a vote on the $2,000 stimulus check has just happened, just like that in the Senate, and now they plan on keeping at it until it definitely goes through. More and more Republican senators are pushing as well, not to mention the brand new stimulus proposal that good old Mitch McConnell has recently presented. I'm definitely going to share the updates and details on that one with you guys. And also, we can expect those $600 stimulus checks that we already locked in. In fact, many of you guys have probably already received them as of this morning. Check your bank accounts. And this is a big one, you guys, so definitely stay tuned. Keep watching until the end of this video. You don't want to miss out on any of these good news updates in this video. But first, I want to say welcome back to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. And for those who are brand new to the channel, my name is Ron. We cover all things personal finance, investing, how to generate multiple streams of income, and of course, stimulus check updates and stimulus package updates. So if you have not already, definitely hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so that you know as soon as I release new videos and content. But let's go ahead and jump right into this. So, like I've been telling you guys all along, your voice really does matter. And that shows today as current Georgia Republican senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue have just announced their support for the $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, they've finally caved under the pressure of the American people, finally with Democrats and President Donald Trump. And if you guys remember, it was Loeffler and Perdue that are especially vulnerable because they have the runoff elections coming up next week in Georgia against two Democratic candidates who are easily on board for the $2,000 stimulus checks and who have been openly criticizing them because of their inaction on this particular matter. So just yesterday, Loeffler said on Fox News, "I've stood by the president 100% of the time. I am proud to do that. And I've said, absolutely, we need to get relief to Americans now, and I will support that." And likewise, David Perdue also came on Fox News later on in the day, and he said, "Delighted to support the president in this $2,000. It's really a $1,400 increment over what we've already done. And I think with a vaccine coming, I think it is absolutely appropriate. So I fully support what the president is doing right now." These two before were on the fence about it until they felt the pressure coming from you guys. So I know you guys have probably been, ringing their phones, sending them letters, blowing up their email, but whatever you guys are doing, just keep at it. Because before, Loeffler never took a firm stand on the matter, while David Perdue was pretty much quiet about it, except for when he was asked directly about it, about direct payments in the first stimulus package back in March. So there you go, you guys. Your voice definitely does matter. So make sure your local representatives and senators feel the pressure by reaching out to those guys. And just to clarify, guys, please know that the $2,000 here, I mean that they pushed for $2,000 to increase the stimulus checks from $600 to $2,000. So the $600, we already have that locked in. And many of you guys may have already received some direct deposits just last night. But we have to keep the pressure on, as just yesterday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell blocked the quick passing of the $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer attempted to pass the change through a unanimous consent request on the Senate floor, but any one senator could block this, and yes, Mitch McConnell was the guy to do it. But if we keep at it together with the stimulus supporters in the Senate, this could be voted on again at a later time or date if Mitch McConnell so chooses. Mitch McConnell said on Tuesday that the Senate would consider 3 of Trump's priorities: further direct financial support for Americans, re-examining Section 230's protections for technology firms, and bailout integrity effort this week. The re-examining of Section 230 came as President Trump vetoed the National Defense Authorization Act over not including revisions to the law that shields internet companies from liability for what is posted on their websites by them or third parties. No comment here, just consideration. And Schumer, whose future is tied to the Georgia runoff elections next week, as well as he may take Mitch McConnell's job if the Democrats actually win this thing, he said in his statement before the vote that $2,000 stimulus checks could mean the difference between American families having groceries for a few extra weeks or going hungry. The difference between paying the rent or being kicked out of your home that you've lived in for years. It could buy precious time for tens of millions of people as the vaccine, thankfully, makes its way across the country. $600 is not enough. And he also quickly added that, "I don't want to hear that we can't afford it. I don't want to hear that it would add too much to the deficit." Senate Republicans added nearly $2 trillion to the deficit to give corporations a massive tax cut. Republicans just fought to include a tax break for 3 martini lunches in the COVID relief bill. So I don't want to hear that it costs too much to help working families get a check when they're struggling to keep their jobs, pay their families, pay their rent, feed their families, and live a halfway normal and decent life. And then he finally zeroes in on the Senate Republicans to join with the rest of America in supporting $2,000 stimulus checks. Now, what Mitch McConnell wants to prioritize instead is the override of the president's veto on the National Defense Authorization Act. But we and our stimulus heroes, of course, aren't going to let this pass so easily. You've got the Democrats who pledged to block the override until we also get a vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks. Also, not to mention, you've got Senator Bernie Sanders, whose last statement says, the House has passed a $2,000 direct stimulus payment for working people. It's time for the Senate to act. This week on the Senate floor, Mitch McConnell wants to vote to override Trump's veto of the $740 billion defense funding bill and then head home for the new year. I'm going to object until we get a vote on legislation to provide a $2,000 direct payment to the working class. Let me be clear, if Senator Mitch McConnell doesn't agree to an up or down vote to provide the working people of our country a $2,000 direct payment, Congress will not be going home for New Year's Eve. Let's do our job. So it looks like no New Year's Eve champagne for good old Mitch McConnell until we get this. But then again, how many times have we heard, oh, we're not going to go away, we're going to stick around until we get this done, and then they don't, right? So I don't know. Let's just see how it plays out, right? But anyway, guys, let's talk about the brand new stimulus proposal that good old Mitch McConnell has recently presented to us just late yesterday evening. You've got Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on Tuesday. He introduced a bill tying $2,000 stimulus checks to unrelated items on President Donald Trump's agenda. You've got a full repeal of the Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act and the creation of new congressional committee to further investigate the integrity of the 2020 US elections. And this is kind of dirty how he did this, right? And so by linking the increased payments to measures that the Democrats oppose, so-called poison pills, Mitch McConnell's bill will likely sink all efforts to get Americans additional COVID-19 relief. And Mitch McConnell's move comes just hours after he blocked a separate attempt by Democrats to hold a vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks that didn't include language on the other two issues. Senator McConnell knows how to make $2,000 survival checks a reality, and he knows how to kill them. Democratic Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said in a press release, and according to Chuck Schumer, if Senator McConnell tries loading up the bipartisan House-passed Cash Act with unrelated partisan provisions that will do absolutely nothing to help struggling families across the country, it will not pass the House and cannot become law. Any move like this by Senator McConnell would be a blatant attempt to deprive Americans of a $2,000 stimulus check. So I hope you guys see what's happening here. So essentially what Mitch McConnell's trying to do here is he's not necessarily saying no to the $2,000 stimulus checks, but it looks like he's trying to tack on, as Chuck Schumer said, some unrelated partisan provisions, which would ultimately pass through the Senate, but end up landing on the House desk for the House to be able to vote on it. And of course, you know, the House is not necessarily going to want to pass that because they're going to say, you know, hey, what's all this extra crap in this bill? We just want to pass these $2,000 stimulus checks. So it's kind of putting the House, or more importantly, it's kind of putting the Democrats in a very sticky situation here. So we're definitely going to have to watch this play out. And the pressure is really on because along with Sanders, fellow Democrats and the American people, other Republican senators are also voicing their support for this. And early stimulus hero Senator Josh Hawley just tweeted, "I will not consent to a vote on this bad defense bill, which should stay vetoed, unless the Senate votes on $2,000 hashtag COVID relief for working people." Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina also tweeted, "After spending some time with President @real Donald Trump, today I am convinced he is more determined than ever to increase stimulus payments to $2,000 per person and challenge Section 230 big tech liability protection. Both are reasonable demands. The biggest winner would be the American people." Together with Senator Marco Rubio, who we also talked about yesterday, this makes already a substantial list of Republican senators in support of the $2,000 stimulus checks. So the list is getting longer, guys. And let's even add to that pressure coming in from the president himself, who tweeted, "Unless Republicans have a death wish, and it is also the right thing to do, they must approve the $2,000 stimulus payments ASAP. $600 is not enough. Also, get rid of Section 230. Don't let big tech steal our country. And don't let the Democrats steal the presidential election. Get tough. Now, this is coming from the president. It's kind of intense with the death wish and all, but, I appreciate his overall enthusiasm here. And, President Trump, he's never been one to, necessarily be politically correct. So I guess I wouldn't expect anything different here. But, if you want the voice of the American people, I also want to bring up the poll from the data for progress that showed the overwhelming support for bigger stimulus checks. 88% support it, 9% oppose it, and 2 don't even freaking know. How do you not know? Just take a stance. You want stimulus checks or you don't, right? And there's even a funny exchange in the comment section, with one person saying, I would like to meet the 2% who don't know. And somebody answered, it's the Republican Party. I don't even know what to say on that one. But it's a really fast evolving story with the updates by the hour. So you guys should really stay updated. And that's why I highly recommend that you guys click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because I'm expecting more breaking news pretty soon. And of course, I would really appreciate it if you guys could like this video. I put a lot of effort into these videos every single day. You guys probably don't believe it, but your likes really give me the extra push to keep me pumped and keep working my hardest in order to give you guys the most updated and most accurate news available. I pretty much eat, sleep, and drink stimulus checks for you guys. And whenever I see familiar names coming up in the comment section, I always feel that, the solid community that we're building here on this channel. So really, I just, like I say every single day, always, I really just want to send you guys a big thank you, guys. And I'm always on the lookout for new states and local stimulus and assistance programs near you. So, make sure you keep watching for all of my future videos and, all the latest on this. And we already have a very impressive list, from our previous videos. And there's even one resource on the list that compiles all of the programs that are out there. So of course, I'll drop a link in the comments down below or in the description down below. And once you click on that link, you just have to click on your neighborhood or your state on the map to see what programs are nearby. So definitely check them all out. They're all in the description down below. And just so that, we're all working together on this, I really do hope that you guys continue to post those programs that you guys hear about that are near you in the comments down below. It helps me out so that I can share it with our community. And of course, it helps other people who are just kind of scrolling through the comments looking for these different opportunities that they might not otherwise know about. So I really can't tell you guys, how much this means to families who hear about these in the comments down below on our videos and in the comments. So, it just really helps so many people out there, gives them peace of mind, going into this new year. I think a lot of people need it. And again, I just want to say a big thank you to you guys. And I also do hope that you're learning more about financial freedom through my interesting tidbits in the past videos about compound interest and passive income. And we close out the topic on index funds today with some important considerations, as I like to call them the hidden differences between index funds. And I already talked about the fees and expense ratios that they take out as percentages of your earnings. Now, in addition to that, another consideration that you should definitely keep an eye out for is the tracking error. Now, the main selling point of an index fund is the simplicity of it is, it's just really just following the designated index. There's nothing special going on there. It just needs to follow the designated index. So just like it sounds, the better you can follow the index, the better off your index fund is going to perform. But of course, because of countless factors, there are definitely differences, between your index fund and the benchmark that the index follows. And this difference is called the tracking error. So what you guys need to watch out for is the large tracking errors, which should translate to a large difference in the returns between your index fund and the benchmark itself that it's supposed to be following. Now, this could end up being an indication of a poor fund construction. Maybe this fund was poorly constructed, or maybe your fees or operating expenses are just way too high. And you've also got to be careful of funds that have index-like funds names, but they're not really indexes. And so just because it says fund doesn't mean it's an index fund. Just, because the fund word is in the name, it doesn't necessarily mean that it actually tracks an underlying index or a sector exactly. So again, whenever you're looking for an index fund, make sure you include in your checklist, little to no tracking errors, low fees, and low expense ratios. And finally, if it is actually an index fund and not just pretending to be an index fund, with, just plain old marketing. And your own priorities should also play a role here. You got to ask yourself, are you good with low risk so you can actually keep your money and just have passive income? Or can you stomach the risk of market downturns for the goal of growth in the long term? You definitely just want to make sure that your choices align with your own personal priorities. And if you guys still have questions on index funds, definitely drop me a question down below in the comments. I would love to read it. And I might actually pick out your comment to read on a future video. But anyway, guys, that is all for the stimulus check update and stimulus package update. A vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks and more votes to come maybe even later this week, more and more Republican senators are also pushing for this. So this is very good news. And we can expect those $600 stimulus checks that we already locked in. Probably, I'm willing to bet that some of you guys have already received some $600 stimulus checks already as of last night. Go ahead and drop me a comment down below if you've already received your stimulus check. And if you haven't already, definitely like this video and subscribe to the channel, and definitely hit the notification bell so that you know as soon as I release new videos and content. And be sure to check out the pinned comment down below to watch the free Financial Freedom movie if you want to enhance your learning on anything from credit, investing, money management, and becoming debt free in the easiest way ever. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.